Amazon sellers, if you want to make your first $5,000 in profit, you need to stop making these 10 very common beginner mistakes. Let's talk about everything from specific sourcing strategies to some of the big overarching reasons why Amazon sellers just end up failing. If you want to follow along and get the most value out of this business, make sure you already have SellerAmp or get a 2-week free trial down below. Let's jump into number one. Mistake number one is that new Amazon sellers tend to make it way too complicated on themselves. They think they have to go and create their own product, call big wholesalers, work with manufacturers in China, when really you can just start selling on Amazon by selling name brand products like deodorant, for example, right? This is on sale today. We can get it for about $4.50 a piece after a 20% coupon. And then over on Amazon, this same exact listing sells about 200 times a month, and it sells for $30 on Amazon, right? So after our costs, our shipping, all that kind of stuff is baked into the SellerAmp profit calculator for me. And after we consider all of that there, we're still going to make $6 profit selling this item. And we don't have to worry about making ads, shipping this product from China, any of that kind of high level stuff that might get really confusing as a new Amazon seller. Not that those can't be great business models to expand into in the long run, but you're going to be way better off building up a solid foundation, making money as a reseller before you go and start spending thousands of dollars hoping that a product will do really well for you. And to take this a step further, just so you can see how we can find lots more winning items, as soon as you have one product, you can start from this product, you can start from any of the hundreds of profitable items that we've shown here on the SellerAmp channel. Just go look at any of the past sourcing videos after you're done with this. In order to turn one lead into tons more profitable leads, we just go down to the offers panel on SellerAmp, go ahead and open up one of these storefronts. So for example, I've gone ahead and just clicked on that first storefront here. And then what I really like to do is niche down into the brand that we already found profitably. We already know that there's some potential selling that brand. So for example, if we click on this seller right here and look at their Harry's items, since that's the product that we came from, I'm usually going to be a little bit more likely to end up finding a profitable item. It's all about finding similar opportunity as an Amazon seller. And I can see, for example, on this storefront here, they have 3 different products in the Harry's brand. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this bottom one here. These like this different kind of deodorant. It's very similar, right? Let's go ahead and check out the Amazon listing here. And now I can actually see that this very similar product, just based on the idea that this storefront we already looked at had success finding very similar items. We can see now that this is a 6-pack of these deodorants here. It's selling for $54. I can also get these on the VitaCost website for about $4.50 each. Let me just show you how I do my math there. So we buy these for $5.49 each. I'm buying 6 of them, so I can do times 0.6. And then I also have a 20% off coupon. So I'm paying a total of $26, which leaves me with $11 in profit. And yes, this item does actually sell about 60 times per month. Another way that I can prove that these name brand items already sell is when I go and look at the new seller count right here. You see how there's a lot of sellers dropping off and a lot of sellers hopping on, dropping off over time. That shows me that there's lots of movement on this product. What I wouldn't want to see is I look at this listing and the seller count just keeps rapidly going up and never going down. Then maybe it's probably a little bit too risky that everyone who's actually listing that item gets stuck with it, isn't able to sell that product. Now, the simple way to start finding products to sell, which brings me to the second mistake that tons of Amazon sellers make, and this one's extremely important, is that you need to be thinking about the fact that you make items profitable. You don't tend to find them profitable, right? So let me show you what I mean by that with this item that we already came from. If we had not tried to make this item profitable, where we just consider our price is $5.50, right? When we plug that in, we are not really making quite enough money, right? It's a 13% ROI. Usually I like to make at least 30% ROI. And so in this item, if we weren't trying to make this item profitable with a coupon in this example, we would not have found it profitably, right? There's tons more discount methods to keep in mind as you're sourcing, like loyalty rewards programs, getting a sales tax exempt permit with your state. 2 other great examples that I like to talk about here are cashback. So cashback is just bonus money for your business. I wouldn't typically bake it into your margin, but if I plug in VitaCost, for example, I can see right away this rebates me is the highest cashback rate of the day. So as long as I go ahead and check out through this free service here, I'm going to get 7% of my money back, and that's just basically free bonus money back in my pocket. Another thing that is really good to take advantage of is discounted gift cards. So Card Bear is the website that I like to use. It's a free website. I can search the website that I'm looking to buy items from. So in the case of VitaCost, I don't usually see discounted gift cards from them. But let's say you're sourcing for some makeup at Sephora. You can go ahead and check out Sephora, and I can see all of the different marketplaces that sell Sephora gift cards. I like buying from GCX. Card Depot can also be pretty good though. And so if I pop this open here, I can see, yeah, so if I want to buy, it'd be pretty small gift cards. Usually I like to buy the bigger bigger gift cards. So I don't know if I'd be really worried about the buying a whole bunch of $10 gift cards here. If I go to GCX though, it's probably going to be a little bit easier to use. And then also on these gift card marketplaces, a lot of times you can just plug in like the exact amount you want. So let's say I found like $222 worth of something. Now I don't have any like extra money floating around. As soon as I buy these gift cards, they're going to get emailed to me and I can immediately go spend them on profitable items that I've already found. And this is just the type of thing that a lot of Amazon sellers aren't thinking about. They're expecting to just look at, oh, it's a retail price of $10. Oh, it sells for Amazon. It sells on Amazon for 25 bucks. I'm making profit, right? Sometimes you'll find some items like that, but honestly, the items that require you to make them profitable rather than just finding them profitably are they're not only just going to be better items, but they're typically going to stay profitable longer because they took a little bit of know-how, they took a little bit of work that the brand new Amazon seller just isn't going to be aware of. Make items profitable, don't find them profitable. The third big mistake that new Amazon sellers make is trying to do everything alone. And so this doesn't mean that you should go shouting from the rooftops whatever your best products are and hoping that some people come to you and you start selling products on Amazon together. But what every smart Amazon seller works towards having or already has is a small network of 1 to 4 Amazon sellers that you can bounce ideas off of, you can source products with, hop on Zoom. Hey, I had this IP complaint come up on my account. I had this account health issue. I know you got one last week. Can you help me figure out how you beat that? And at the end of the day, selling on Amazon isn't easy. You're going to need some people to share ideas with to help you through different roadblocks. And sometimes you just need some Amazon seller friends to peer pressure you into getting rich together. You can do this for free though. There's no reason to go pay thousands of dollars for like private groups and that kind of thing. Those can be useful if you get down the line and you want to start investing in your business a little bit. But from day one, just join free groups and start talking to other Amazon sellers. Down below, you'll find the free SellerAmp Facebook group. There's also tons of great free Discord communities out there that you can go check out. And then a really easy no-brainer to do is just make a social media page on your favorite social media platform. Document, hey, I've got some boxes going out today. Hey, I'm having this issue going on. Or hey, I spent $5,000 on products today. Or I spent $50 on products today. It's my first day. Just share the wins, share some of the losses. And what that's naturally going to do is people who are also at your similar level and are also smart enough to understand how important it is to make connections with other Amazon sellers, that's going to show them that you're serious. They're going to start reaching out to you. You can start reaching out to other Amazon sellers. For me personally, when I get DMs and questions from Amazon sellers that I see they got some bars posted on Twitter, Instagram, they're taking it seriously, I'm typically going to give them a lot more thoughtful response because I know that they're serious about this and not just some random person who's thinking about it. They've been studying it for years and they've never actually done anything. So there's just tremendous value in showing other people that you're serious about it. If you want to meet other people that are also serious, you can grow business together. The fourth beginner mistake that a lot of Amazon sellers make is buying the wrong items. So I want to show you just a couple quick examples of the wrong items. These are probably the most common mistakes that I see new Amazon sellers make. So mistake number one is buying items that Amazon is consistently selling. So when I look at the charts on SellerAmp, you see how there's like a ton of orange highlighting? That shows me that Amazon is on this listing. And then I also can check out the buy box analysis down here and I can see that Amazon is winning 99% of the sales on this listing. So even if you were able to get this cheap enough, Amazon is probably going to hog all of the sales on this listing. It's just how it works. It's Amazon's marketplace. If they're competing with you, a lot of times they get to get all of the sales on a listing. It's not always the case where you have to avoid listings where Amazon is selling it. That's where that buy box analysis tab comes in super handy. Sometimes they share lots of sales and new Amazon sellers can get scared of that. And you can go in and have a little bit more expertise on it. Know that Amazon does actually share sales, but if you see this, run away. You can't make sales on this listing. And that's also pretty similar to something like this. Even if Amazon themselves isn't selling a listing, if I go and I'm looking at a product and I see down here on the bottom chart, you see how basically the only seller historically on this listing is one person. You can also see if I check out the buy box stats on this, pretty similar. 95% of the sales have gone to this one single seller who's been on the listing. This shows me that it's not a product that is friendly for me to sell. It's probably a private label item, or the brand has an exclusive relationship with one particular Amazon seller. And if you try to sell this item, for example, this ticked up to 2 sellers for a couple hours, maybe half a day, and then they got kicked off and it was back to one seller. If you see this pattern, stay away. It just means that listing is controlled and you can sell one of the other thousands of brands that are friendly to resellers, basically. And then the third common mistake that I see Amazon sellers buying the wrong products is if it says generic brand on the actual Amazon listing, so brand generic here in this case, technically if you end up listing those items and if you're pretending that somebody else's brand is called generic so that you can list it on a certain good selling Amazon listing, it's technically copyright infringement because you're taking their intellectual property and pretending that it's something else. That's just a quick one. If this says brand generic right here, don't sell that listing. It's going to get you in some trouble. There's also a few more common red flag type products that you want to avoid selling on Amazon. If you want to dive into those, I'll leave a blog article link down below so you can dive in and see some of those other common mistakes. The fifth mistake that new Amazon sellers tend to make is hiring help too soon. I get it. Running a business, it sounds fun. You get outsource everything and not do too much work yourself. You've been seeing the videos on social media, the laptop lifestyle, driving around the fancy cars. I don't do any real work, that kind of thing. In the early days, though, it takes a lot of work to get your actual business set up. And a lot of new Amazon sellers, they'll jump in. They don't really understand how to source products on day one. And so they're like, all right, I'll just hire a virtual assistant or somebody to source all the products for me. Hiring a virtual assistant can be a great idea. Hiring help in general, turning your side hustle into a legit business. That's the entire point. But before you start outsourcing, you need to make sure that you have plenty of money to be able to afford their help, plenty of money to be able to spend the money on whatever products they're finding, whatever work they're helping you out with. And you just need to understand and master every single step of the business. That way, as you start growing the business and outsourcing more and more, you know how to actually train each person very well. You know who's doing a good job, you know who's doing a bad job. And if you just try to outsource everything and hire everything away right immediately, you're not going to probably be able to scale a successful business. Anytime you leverage debt or hiring more people, anything like that, it basically just amplifies what your business is already doing. So if your business is doing relatively clueless sourcing, or you're not even making money when you think you are making money and you start adding fuel to the fire, it's only going to amplify the problems. But as you're actually growing the business, there's a really easy way for you to test concepts, make those sales as fast as possible. And this brings me to mistake number 6, and that's that new Amazon sellers think they need to FBA everything, right? So if you don't know what that means, fulfillment by Amazon is when you basically ship everything off to Amazon all in one big box. And then when it gets to Amazon, they ship it to your final customer for you. But you can actually make a ton more money and test the concept faster on Amazon. There's just so much value in being fast to the market. If you check the buy box stats on SellerAmp, and that there's lots of FBM friendliness on the buy box stats here, that tells me that this is an item that I can buy, ship to my house. I can go out to the store and grab it. And as soon as I list it, I can list it and ship it direct to a customer who buys it, right? So if you're someone who's trying to figure out if this whole thing is even legit, if you can actually make money on it, don't you want to make money faster than the person who ships it to Amazon, waits 2 or 3 weeks to see it, check in, start making some sales? With FBM, you can literally like walk to the store, scan an item that's profitable, list at FBM while you're in the store, and make the sale before you even leave the store. So there's tons of value in FBMing everything right from the jump. The only thing that you need to do before you consider FBM is just check the buy box stats and make sure that Amazon is giving sales to FBM sellers like they are on this, right? So I see lots of FBM sales going down here. If I go back to this, for example, it's all FBA or Amazon. This right here is probably going to be all FBA, 95% to that FBA offer. So just make sure that you see some FBM buy box rotation, and you're going to be able to make money sooner, test the concept, know that this whole Amazon thing, it's not a scam. It's not just random people talking about it online. Make that money as fast as possible so that you can restock while things are still on sale. You can see how fast things actually sell. There's just a lot of benefits to making those sales sooner than an FBA seller. The 7th beginner mistake is definitely something that I was guilty of when I was starting my personal Amazon business. In my personal life, I'm a pretty frugal person. I'm not buying the flashy cars. I'm not going out there buying Rolexes, all that kind of stuff, right? But for my Amazon business, I understand that there is a ton of value in actually investing in the things that my business needs. For example, shameless plug for SellerAmp. I use it every single day on every single product that I source. I see some people that get into the Amazon space and they don't want to spend the $20 a month on the software that they need. I get it. I like the idea of being frugal, making sure all of your dollars go as far as they can. But you also need to be willing to, invest in $500 worth of some random new product. But as long as the data shows that it sells and you're confident in it, great. That's what matters. So if that's you and you're pretty frugal in your personal life, it might be a little bit of a separation of the mental space there, right? So you can be cheap in your personal life, but don't be overly cheap in your business. Make sure you're investing in the tools that you actually need. Make sure you're buying the amount of products that you need. Don't buy 1 unit of something to test it out. Make that 10, 20, 50 unit test order based on how fast things are actually selling. But that's also a nice segue into mistake number 8 that lots of new Amazon sellers make, and that's spending way too much from the beginning. So I know you have a startup budget right now, and I see a lot of people, they'll take that startup budget and they'll spend 85% of it on a course or some private training or all that kind of thing. Investing in yourself a little bit is essential, but investing all of it into some random course, education, that kind of thing, when it's a product-based business is going to be a little bit silly. I also see this on the software side of things. So keep it super simple with the software that you need. There's tons of softwares out there, like hundreds of dollars a month, that claim to be like the best, right? So as far as the essential softwares for sourcing, SellerAmp and Keepa, that's all you need for sourcing products. You've probably seen some software out there that claim to like automatically source and all that kind of thing for you. Besides the fact that all those automatic sourcing tools are feeding everyone the exact same leads, it's also just more expensive than you need. It's not going to have the right ROI for your business, especially early on. Another very affordable tool with a great ROI for your business is going to be something like BeCool, which is a repricer. Starts at $25 a month, and it also integrates with your SellerAmp account. So you can start storing like the minimums and maximums for every item that you want to sell, keep it in certain price ranges, and it automatically changes the prices for you. So that's one of those things that kind of immediately has an ROI just by keeping your prices in the buy box, keeping you consistently making sales. And then the other really affordable tool that you probably want to think about having is something like Boxem, which will let you create shipments, track your analytics, track your profit, all that kind of back end stuff. That's a little bit more boring, but obviously very important to know if your business is actually making money, how much inventory you actually have in your account, how many dollars you have locked up, how many dollars you expected to sell based on that. A lot of those basic metrics that you just need to have a handle on. But the nice part is that if you go out and get all 4 of those right now, the combined price is like just barely over $100 a month. And if you get all 4 of those, that'd be pretty much all you need for quite a while to scale your business. And there might actually be a time in your business where it does make legitimate sense for you to go and invest in that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 training program, mentorship. You get lots of direct help, that kind of thing. There's lots of programs out there, and some of those can be very helpful. But if you're just getting started out as a beginner, there's no real reason to spend that much money in the education in the early days. You can learn a ton of it for free here on YouTube. You can make lots of friends for free. And especially in the early days where you probably don't have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started, that money's probably just going to be better spent on inventory so you can grow it, learn some beginner mistakes, and just actually get the ball rolling. The 9th mistake that new Amazon sellers make is thinking that it's too easy, thinking it's passive. I see it all over social media. I'm sure you have too, where people say that it's, oh, you can run this business from your laptop and it doesn't take any time. It doesn't take any real work. The reality though is that it does take a lot of work to actually get this business set up. Anything that actually works when it comes to making money online is going to take real work in the early days. And we will never sit here and tell you that selling on Amazon is easy. I've personally been doing it for 6 years though. I'm going to continue selling on Amazon. I'm going to continue growing my business as much as possible. By no means has it been easy, but for me personally, it's definitely been life-changing, and I'm excited to see how my business can keep growing. So as long as you're someone who's willing to work hard and you understand that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, that kind of thing, selling on Amazon can definitely be for you. And this brings me to mistake number 10 that I hope you're not guilty of right now, and that is studying the game for way too long, sitting on YouTube for hours and hours and watching videos and never actually going out there and getting the reps. So if that's you and you've been deep onto a YouTube binge, you still haven't gone out and actually bought a product, see how it goes. Literally right now, just go buy 5 or 10 units or something, spend $100 on a product, list it on Amazon, see how it goes, learn the process of listing on Amazon, learn the process of making a sale, see how it works when you actually make a sale and see how you get paid for it. After you do all that once, everything gets so much easier. And the truth is that the first $10,000 that you sell on Amazon are going to be the hardest $10,000 that you ever have to sell on Amazon. After that, every single product gets easier to find, similar to products you found before. You can restock products you found before, and you're never going to get over that initial hump of the most difficult part, which is the first $10,000, unless you get off YouTube right now and actually go start finding some stuff. So if that's you, that's your call to action. Go fire up SellerAmp, go start sourcing some products. If you haven't been deep onto the YouTube binge yet and you're not quite sure how to actually source profitable items, go ahead and click this video right here. I'll show you my entire full research process for finding over $5 million worth of products in my personal Amazon business. And then on the way out, make sure you also hit the subscribe button if you want to help us out for helping you out for free. And then also be sure you have that 2-week free trial of SellerAmp activated today so you can actually go start sourcing products. Really appreciate you watching this video though, and we will see you next time.